Hello, friends. Welcome back to Get Happy, Be Fit. Today, we're going to talk about something that has been on my mind a lot recently. When I did my body positive episode, which is one of my favorites of all time, I talked about how I've seen some body positive activists shame thin or fit girls for showing off their fit bodies, saying that they're perpetuating the idealistic standards society has put on us. I hear a lot of them say to clean up your social media feed and unfollow all of the fitness models and fitness professionals, and I do think that this is a good idea for some people in some situations. But I'm not a fan of shaming people for being fit or calling other people not to support someone because they're into fitness or in good shape. Just like I'm not a fan of shaming people for being overweight, I rarely get fired up about something to the point that I will blow up on somebody, but I have blown the F up on people who say negative things about heavier people. But in general, I just don't think we should be shaming anyone for their body at all, fit or not. But I want to touch on the cleaning up your social media feed thing, because like I said, I do think it's a good idea to do that in some situations, but I think there's an integral step missing. If you have a bunch of super lean fit influencers on your feed and looking at them makes you feel bad about yourself and sets you back on your journey to self-love, then unfollowing them is a wise thing to do, especially if you consciously scroll through and just sit in self-loathing while gazing at the people you view as better than you. And if you struggle with disordered eating in any way, it's very important to not be filling your mind with images that make you feel any sort of shame as you work on your recovery. They didn't have social media when I was in middle school and high school, but that didn't stop me from looking through the Victoria's Secret magazines we got in the mail and feeling terrible that I didn't look the way those women did. And I would just sit there and lament over it. But years later, I had finally grown to love myself and my body. I was at my very heaviest, and I found all of the medical things that were stopping me from being able to lose weight in the past, so I finally had hope. I was so excited to feel like I could finally meet my fitness goals, and looking at women in the shape that I wanted to get into was encouraging to me. It made me excited to get there, and on days when I was discouraged or unmotivated, I would look at them and get excited again and feel like if they can do it, I can do it. And I did. I met all of my fitness goals and then some from a place of excitement and love for my body. After that, I went through a stressful divorce. I started a new relationship. Because of the metabolic adaptation, I gained some weight, and I really struggled to successfully prep for another show. So some insecurity started to set in. And when I saw pictures of really fit or really pretty redheads, I would feel intimidated and worried because my boyfriend likes redheads, which I am one of. But when he started dating me, I was almost at my smallest, and so I was paranoid about it. But feeling like this when I looked at other women was a red flag for me. When I have negative feelings about something, I want to get to the bottom of them because I'm well aware that it's not that pretty fit redhead's fault that I was feeling bad about myself. It was the internal stuff that was going on with me. I have been obsessed with the song Wait For It from Hamilton lately, and one of the lines is, I am the one thing in life I can control. And this is how I look at life, because wanting to control uncontrollable situations is fruitless and exhausting. Sometimes it can be easier to just blame and hate the person we feel inferior to than to do the work and deal with what's going on inside of us that makes us feel that way to begin with. But trying to avoid looking at people who I thought were more attractive than I was not going to fix the actual problem. So if I didn't deal with myself, it would continue to happen because you can't stop seeing people. You can't sequester yourself from the entire world. Even if you do unfollow people on social media, you're gonna run into people that you don't feel as attractive as. So I knew if I didn't deal with myself, it would continue to happen. And I didn't want that. So I delved in and worked on it. And when I feel that sinking feeling of insecurity when I see a woman I'm afraid my boyfriend will like more than me, I slow down and I remind myself that she is a person with worth And she is not solely what she looks like, just like I am not solely what I look like. And my relationship with my boyfriend is so much deeper than either of our physical appearances. And then I repeat the mantra in my head, the light in you is all I see. And this helps me see the other person as a fellow human with problems and insecurities, someone who is on the same team as me, not my enemy, not a threat, and not my competition. There is a fitness professional that I follow on Instagram who stays super lean all year round. She works really hard for her physique, and it's very impressive. And she posted a conversation that she had in her DMs with someone who had messaged her and said that they were really disappointed that she never showed anything real, and it would be encouraging for her to show reality instead of this unattainable standard. And her response was that she fully supports the body positive movement and that everybody should be happy with themselves the way they are. But she personally doesn't want to sit in weird hunched over positions to show that she has rolls in her body. She's worked really hard for the physique she's built, and she's proud of it, just like everyone has a right to be proud of their body. And I completely agree with this. I've heard a lot of people say if someone poses to make their body look a certain way, it's not realistic, that you shouldn't twist or stick your booty out because that's not what their body looks like. But that is what their body looks like because it is their body. And anyone can do that. I think it's dangerous to put someone down and say, well, she doesn't really look like that. She's just posing. It's still her body. That's still her. Just like if you take a picture and think, dang, I look good. That doesn't even look like me. Yes, it does because it is you. It is your body. None of us look perfect all the time, and none of us look what we perceive to be bad all the time. I remember hating the way I looked so badly that when I saw pictures that I actually looked good in, I would explain it away as, oh, that doesn't really even look like me. It's just the picture. But it did look like me. And if posing a certain way feels good and you like it, then do it. But don't feel terrible about yourself when you're sitting on the couch with a relaxed stomach and no makeup on, because one is not better than the other. And there is a time and place for both. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who are photoshopping and making themselves look completely different than they do in real life. And that reeks of insecurity and self-loathing. So let's not tear them down for doing that. Let's remind them that they're more than good enough without photoshopping, just like we all are. Let's encourage them that they don't have to do that to be good enough, because they're obviously in the same place anyone who feels bad about themselves is. So if looking at super fit people on social media makes you feel bad about yourself, definitely unfollow them. But don't just unfollow them. Work on what's going on inside of you that's making you feel inferior or intimidated. It's so much better to realize that fit isn't better than fat. It really isn't. It doesn't make you a better person. No one should feel shame because of their physical appearance, and no one should feel less than anyone else because of their weight. The ideal world isn't a world where there are no super fit, thin people to perpetuate the beauty standards of society. The ideal world is one where everyone can celebrate themselves and each other at every weight and at every stage of life without being intimidated. It's not other people's responsibility to make us comfortable with ourselves and confident in the way we look. It's ours. And it does take work and practice, but it's so worth it. It feels so good to be able to appreciate other people's beauty without yours feeling threatened. You are the only you. That's reason enough to be proud of yourself and your body, no matter what it looks like. Thin people are not the only attractive ones. Curvy women aren't the only attractive ones. Tall men are not the only attractive ones. Everyone is attractive and desirable to someone, and everyone is beautiful and desirable in their own special way. So let's stop shaming each other, and let's work for a world that makes every shape and every size acceptable, and build the confidence of the next generation to appreciate other people's beauty and their own. All right, that's all for today.